If you don't come home soon, I'm gonna move out.
I just need to stay here until I believe that not everybody I love is gonna die.
I love you.
I'm Jenny Cooper. You've been filling in for me?
There has been an accident.
Might need my help.
Tell me about the new coroner.
He's no Jenny.
I'm not waiting for you to start this autopsy. Did you find anything suspicious?
You held a man's gun to your head. What you did was insane.
I was involved in a hostage situation. Pull the trigger. Pull it.
I'm looking for personal support workers.
I'm here. I really want to help you through this.
This could be murder. We're just gonna do this together. Okay?
Talking to a survivor? Praying over bodies? Not the way I do it.
Well, this is how I do it.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Coroner, premiering on the CW this Thursday, June 2nd. And as you see on the screen, I have a special guest, Shawn Ahmed, who plays Alphonse Usmani. I'm gonna let off air horns right now. Please welcome Alphonse Usmani, aka Shawn Ahmed. Air horns are going off right now. You're not hearing it right now because there you go. I didn't want to deafen you, so it'll be in post.
I do my own sound effects.
There we go.
Same thing on set.
We give love and light to everybody that gives us their time to share. As a fellow actor, as fellow filmmakers, I love these conversations because I think we continuously need that inspiration. You know, I think I was reading up from your website as well. Man, we take a lot of L's as actors. You know, you got to get used to losses before you find that one role that just kind of reinforces that love and that passion again. And so I appreciate you even sharing that on your site, that you got to get creative. Like you started Crazy Shirt Productions, which I saw on there. And that's why I do this, you know, to keep that creative energy going, because that's what we just do as creatives. So I love that.
I think it's important to find like authentic ways to keep yourself afloat in an industry, because unless you're an A-list celebrity, the rest of us that are fighting and scraping away and gigging through our lives, you don't get enough work to keep yourself creatively fulfilled, and you get knocked down too often to sustain unless you got something you can just do on your own. If you're lucky enough to work job to job to job and never stop, well, more power to you. Tell me what you're doing. Give me that pill. I'll take it.
Right.
But you know, for the most part, you got to find something that's authentic to keep you kind of like, keep you attached to the community. Like I know in Toronto, like the film community is tight, the theater community is tight, and it's important for us to kind of like stay in each other's lives in a way that is meaningful, authentic, and like lifts each other up.
Right. Real talk. I love it. I love it. I got so much love to Toronto. I got to tell you, I've had so many Toronto Canadian folk from the past 3-4 months now. So all my love to Toronto. I'm actually visiting next month, y'all. June. I'm going to see y'all, Toronto. We got to get up. So all my peeps, let's have some fun. But no, you guys are killing it. An amazing work. It's, you know, I think Hollywood kind of moved out that way in a way as well. Within the past like 5 years, I would say now. A lot
it's
of
been
work
a transition. I mean, we're getting a lot of work. I mean, COVID definitely helped Canadian actors. Maybe not necessarily. Some jobs came out here that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been in America, but not really. It was kind of the same amount of work. But, you know, the old adage here is, if you're a Canadian actor and you want to be like a guest star lead on a show, you got to go to LA to get cast and then flown back to Toronto to do that role, because we all oftentimes find ourselves in the, you know, in the co-star roles and the peripheral roles that they cast.
Very true.
What COVID gave Canadian actors was American producers couldn't fly someone in just on a whim for 2 days to shoot. So they had to kind of give us jobs all of a sudden. And I'm seeing that as like a great opportunity amidst a shitstorm that we're living in, and just take that and run with it, and then use that cred and reputation to kind of, you know, establish myself and hopefully have more trust, because a lot of it just comes down to trusting the person that they're going to do the job, and they're going to show up, and, you know, they're going to work and make it work.
Definitely. It matters, y'all. Y'all just can't. So much the professionalism. I love it, and you guys are killing it. You guys are killing it right now. Like I live in the DC area. Washington, D.C., but I'm feeling like, again, I'm visiting very soon, but like there's half a notion of me to just like, man, because I'm Filipino as well. Filipinos are killing it right now in Toronto. Shout out to Romeo. Shout out to the
Filipino community here is strong.
Y'all are killing it. Yeah. So I feel like I need to head up that way. But let me not get sidetracked. I love this act. I could talk acting talk with you all day. Yeah. Coroner that is
Yeah.
premiering now on CW this Thursday. Tell me about just the role of Alphonse Ousmane, and let's start from the beginning. When you first got pegged and landed that gig, and now as you come into this season 4.
Yeah, so I got cast in season 3. I play Serinda Swan, who's the lead of the show, Jenny Cooper. I play her assistant at the coroner's office. I was out in Newfoundland shooting a Canadian series called Hudson and Rex, and I was just like put an audition on my cell phone, and I sent it in, and I was very fortunate enough to get cast, and grateful that happened. I did one season. The first season I did 4 episodes. And that was great. It was a nice way to kind of get in. I kind of got a sense that they don't just like bring characters in that are like all of a sudden like huge roles. They kind of slow play everyone. It's a slow burn show. So I knew that, I just got to kind of buy my time, do my thing, stay true to this character, not like overdo it, and kind of find the balance in the show, because it's a very dark show. And I was being asked to play a very funny, awkward, kind of quirky guy. So finding that balance of like, how much comedy can I bring into a scene without undercutting the episode that we're trying to tell and the stories that we're trying to tell. So that's how I approached it. I did 4 episodes in the first season. Morwen Brebner, who was the showrunner in the first season, for the first 3 seasons, it's her show. She stepped away from the series, and Adriana Meggs came in to take over. And Adriana and I had a conversation before the season started. And she said, "What do you want to do? This is what's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna have this relationship with Jenny's son. We've already kind of set that in place. There's a bunch of reasons why that has to happen, but she's like, that's kind of where we're going with it." And I said, great. I gave some ideas on things that I thought were really interesting. To me, like, I don't personally identify as LGBTQ, but I'm playing an LGBTQ character. So there's, in this day and age, I don't believe that you have to be exactly what you are to play it. But I think if it was like a totally underrepresented person, then you want to find that person. But, there's definitely a great deal of care and care involved in playing these roles, especially when I'm stepping outside of myself, especially how I identify sexually. So we had that chat. I kind of ended up talking a lot about, like, I know some of my cousins are gay, identify as gay, and I just, like, I know their stories, and I know that the narrative oftentimes that I hear from my perspective is like very much like a, for lack of better words, a white narrative of like, it's tough, but you come out, but not everyone's, I mean, it does happen, of course, but within like the Islamic community, and watching kind of like my cousins, what they went through, there's a very unique thing to it, to be so openly gay with all of your friends and everyone who loves you at like in your late 20s, but then your family to have no idea that that's going on, and to like live this double life. That was something that I have been privy to because of the people I know and care about, and kind of like listen to them. And I pitched those ideas forward because they were saying, oh, you could move in together. And I said, no. If you have a character that is like a family guy whose parents are in the show and they appear in an episode, and we're playing that, then the other character can't just move in. It won't work like that. That won't be authentic. So I was very grateful to be able to bring those ideas forward, and they get written in. And that's kind of the journey. And then I ended up doing, I think, 8-9 episodes in the 4th season.
Let's go.
So I'm around for the whole thing. I'm kicking, just kind of being a quirky dude that's helping solve some of the crimes.
That's a win-win. I love that. That's amazing. That's what we dream as actors, especially on series, right? Like, you get a co-star, and hopefully that builds into something, and then you became a series regular essentially for season 4. That is super dope. And I really got to give you props and thanks, even though you're not LGBTQ, to be cognizant of who you are and wanting to speak with, the community, and having friends, relatives that are that, to see how they feel, so you can get kind of that energy from them, so you know how to better pull off the character if you're going to, be fulfilling that character, because you want to give proper respects, because especially in this day and age, where we as POCs, I think you and I could definitely agree, we get kind of stereotyped quite a bit, and other people get put into our roles, and I have a major problem with that. I'm not gonna lie. For me personally, as a Filipino, speak to me on that. So, that's dope.
Yeah, one of the things I did also bring up, like in the 3rd season, the scene ended up getting cut, but there was a mention that the character, like, he mentions his boyfriend in one of the scenes. He goes, "Oh, my boyfriend, a guy who may or may not be my boyfriend, works at a hospital, and that's how I got these records." It was like part of a plot point. We ended up cutting it. But that I was like, I didn't realize that they had these plans for this character when they had cast me. So I sought out the producers, and I had a very great conversation with Noelle Carbone, who's one of the executive producers. She's also an EP on Winona Earp. And I kind of said to her, I was like, listen, you know, I don't want to do anything that's disrespectful. I don't want to be put in a position that harms the show or harms the community in any way. So can we just like have a conversation about this? And her response was she was very happy that I came and talked to her about it. And she kind of said like, listen, I identify as LGBTQ. Almost half of our writer's room does. She's like, you are not the show. You are not the character. The character is an embodiment of the writers and the producers and these ideas we have. And she's like, there's a lot of us that are writing this for you that understand this community really well. So she's like, you're just kind of like the end product. And so we were able to chat, and I was kind of able to say like, listen, don't make him like a guy that's going to be like, I was at Stonewall. And like, you know what I mean? Like if it's going to be that type of role, then you need to kind of you should hire an LGBTQ actor to authentically speak to those experiences. But if it's just a guy that's kind of quirky and crazy and kind of messes up at the office every now and then and carries on a relationship and just happens to be gay, then then there's no reason that I can't play that role. It just requires, like we said, a certain amount of care.
Yeah, I'm with that. And we're actors, people.
And we're actors,
acting.
yeah.
Like, come on. I feel that. And so Alfonso Usmani, season 4, you're killing it. But is this the last season? I was looking online. I think it I don't know what's going on, and I feel like they're building you up. But are we saying goodbye after season 4?
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I don't think this is like a major spoiler or anything, but my hunch is I think the show ends. My feeling is the show as we know it ends. Whether it picks up in some other way, you know, anything can happen. I don't know. But my understanding was when I finished my last day, I said goodbye to everyone. And I was like, that seems to be it. I read the last script of season 4, and I thought, yep, that's the end right there.
Wow. Okay. Well, I love that it kind of grew for you as an actor.
Yeah.
And as a person, and your character got to build. That's beautiful. As actors, that's what we hope for. So salute to you on that. I know you have quite a few other projects coming up. You recently worked with Tony Braxton on Fallen Angels Murder Club. What was that experience like? Were you an old R&B head like myself?
I love Tony Braxton. Yeah, I and like my family, like my sister-in-law was losing her mind because every time we go sing karaoke, she's got the mic and she's just like, he wasn't man enough for me, and she's just going on Tony songs all day. Yeah, that was awesome because that was like, you know, it was a Lifetime production. I don't think it's any secret that Lifetime makes movies that make money, right? They churn out a lot of these films and they make a lot of money, and they're crowd pleasers. Yeah, they're not winning Oscars, but they're making money and people are watching them and they're loving them, and it's a great way. It's entertainment, right? Like when you boil it down. So I got cast. I didn't audition for that role. I just got cast because
let's go.
I was doing another movie with Lifetime called Under the Christmas Tree in September, and you know, I guess they were watching the dailies come in, and I got a call from my agent one day. She said, "Hey, the vice president of Lifetime just called me and was raving about you and really likes you, and you know, she just wants to talk to you and get to know you a little more and see if there's anything there for you." And within like 3 days of that, they were like, "We have this project. It's a franchise. Do you want to come on board and play this character, Mark, who's kind of like Tony's." Tony and I start like a law firm in the series, so it's kind of like a peripheral storyline in the movies.
I love it.
So yeah, she was awesome. She is like the no ego. You know, I've worked with several stars in my fortunately in my time in this industry, and no ego, gracious, awesome, easy to talk to, like just like a lovely human being. I really appreciated that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Well, props to you on that. When I saw that, that was a point because I used to crush on Tony Braxton a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So, I love it. I was looking at your IMDb, over 20 plus years, man, in this industry as well. Killing the game. Tell me about. I have to ask you. So the very first credit I see on here, where was it? I had it just a second ago. System Crash.
Yeah, open call audition, man. I was 15 years old. There's a studio in Toronto called YTV Studios, which is kind of like our Nickelodeon equivalent. They make it's all children's content. They probably cap off at like 14 years old. in terms of their demographic. And yeah, I was like a 15-year-old kid, and I wanted to be an actor. I was at an arts high school, kind of like, doing my thing, singing and dancing, and kind of like going through all that stuff. And I just saw it in the back of like a community paper, and I was like, okay, I'll go wait in this line. So I waited in line for like 3 hours, auditioned, got the role. That was pretty cool. And that was really great. Yeah, that was just like the first time I just got to be on a set, and I was blown away by how much fun it was.
So that's when the acting bug kind of bit a little bit, or like really like, I want to be here. I want to experience this. I want to have my own trailer. I know you did Grease in school. I saw that. That was right. Cute. I like that.
Yeah, actually, I would say that wasn't the first time, because I had fun doing it. I was still in high school at the time, but when I got out of high school, I didn't think I was going to be an actor. Like I kind of looked around the industry, and I didn't really see a lot of people. This was 2004. I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. I looked at the types of roles I was going to have to play, and I was kind of like, I guess this isn't really my jam. Like, if I can't see a path to success in this industry, what's the point? But I did love it. So I went to the University of Toronto in NTO, and I studied economics and economic history. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that was kind of my idea. That was kind of I had that heartbeat to like create something and make something. And I had an agent at the time because of System Crash, and she just said, like, listen, let me send you out for commercials. Like, maybe you'll make some pocket money. You're in university. You don't have any cash. And I said, what a great idea. Yeah, I'll keep auditioning. I'll keep giving this a try if I can. And after my first year of university, I landed a role in one of the first 9/11 films, Flight 93. So yeah, very stereotypical role. Like, I was playing a terrorist. But it was a very big production. Universal and A&E were behind it, and ended up winning an Emmy. I got flown out west to shoot it for 3 weeks. So that was like my first like, whoa, I'm an actor on a film set. Like, I get taken to set. I have agency over what I want to do. And I remember, the flight back when I was like, okay, I'm going to finish university, and then I'm going to take a run at this thing.
I love it. I love it. There we go. Anything like that could really get that bite in you. For me, it was Ace Ventura 2: When Nature Calls, working with Jim Carrey before he got super big. And that I always love kind of like that start of how we fell in love with this medium, man. It just takes you back, and it makes it it reminds you of why we do this. So I hope you don't mind me taking you back there.
No, of course, because we always love it. Like, everyone, I think a lot of people love the idea of acting or love the idea of being in the film industry, but it's not until you actually get a chance to do it that it all starts to feel real all of a sudden. When you start working with people, you're like, hey, wait a minute, you've been working for 40 years. I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with you, holding my own in a scene. What do I have to do to kind of replicate that and kind of have longevity in this business?
Yeah. I love it. And when we feel down, and like we talked about earlier, you find other paths for yourself. When we don't get those wins, maybe create your own paths. And so I love what you've done with Crazy Shirt. Can you talk to me a little bit about like keeping that energy going when you're not getting a win and you maybe want to, or just even you want to just try something for yourself? Tell me about the birth of Crazy Shirt.
Yeah, Crazy Shirt, I was a out of work actor. I was probably 25, 26 years old. I was working in a basement in a telemarketing center selling like tickets for theater productions across America, like just for like a third party company. So it was like a Joe job in in every sense possible. And I was working in the cubicle next to me was this guy, Scott Lever, and we struck up a friendship, and we really made each other laugh, and we were always goofing around. And that was kind of around the time Workaholics came out and Sunny came out, and we had heard this like, whoa, there's this path where people are just like picking up cameras and just making it, and then they're going and selling it and they're figuring it out. And we were like, well, we're funny, like we can make each other laugh, so maybe that's a good barometer for us to just like use as a kind of a lift-off point. So we just started writing, and we made a pilot. The first one was completely out of pocket, and one thing kind of led to another. And the company, we've sold a bunch of shows to Bell Media, which is one of the big networks in Canada, which has been great. And we just kind of kept creating. slowed down, I would say, in the last few years. I've definitely been focusing more on purely being an actor because there's just been a lot of opportunity and a lot of chances to kind of grow my career there.
That's awesome.
But I've never that stuff like we had no idea what we were doing. We was like YouTube University. I was making everything up. I was YouTubing all my problems, like how do you set up a wide shot? Like just like the most simple things.
But it's so effective though. Like I wish a lot of the technology that is there now, like, whew, I could have done so much back in the day. Just that creative mindset, just to create would have. Yeah, there's so many tools. So like a lot of this new generation, like just go online. You can learn quite a bit.
Everything. Yeah, I taught myself to edit online. Like I just like downloaded Final Cut Pro X, and I just started taking tutorials that were readily available online. And before I knew it, I could edit, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And actually, I would say that's the best acting lesson I've ever taken. Teaching myself how to edit, understanding what happens after you leave set was like, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a reason editors are like outrageously important in a production. Like it takes a village, but that is a key role, way more important than any actor that's on that show. And to understand what they need and how they work, and kind of how that part of that process works, I was able to tidy up my acting. It actually made it easier because I thought, oh, I don't have to put as much pressure on myself as I was. It's not really my job to make this show good. It's my job to deliver a very small section of a scene in a way that the editor can use to pull the show together.
Completely agree. I need to take a snapshot of that when I throw this up on IG and everywhere. It's so very important. These are like real tools and lessons, I think, that you find out by doing. And I've been in this since '96. I'm old too, acting. So I love it. And from what I saw, looking at more of your information, you are giving back with what you're learning as well. I got to give props to you with your work with POV.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can you speak on that and just giving back and helping support the next gen?
Yeah, I'm really lucky in that I don't know like what it is, but a lot of people helped me and they continue to help me. Like there's especially creating Crazy Short Productions, so many coffees with people that don't need to give me the time of day, but they would sit down with me for 3 hours and talk me through something. Or, I could call them on a whim and be like, how do you troubleshoot this idea? Or what do I do when this happens on set? And so many people helped me, and I never forgot that, of course. And I don't think anyone just kind of does it blindly themselves. And then once I kind of, got past 32, 33, I started thinking like, okay, this is my place in the industry. I kind of see where my career is going. But then what else is there going to be? What am I going to leave behind? Am I going to help this next generation, particularly within the South Asian community? Because there's so many South Asian, and well, actually, no, there's not a lot, but there's a generation of South Asian actors that are above me, and they all were really gracious to me. And I just want to kind of like pass that back down because it's a different struggle, but they can learn from our mistakes and they can learn from what we had to go up against. And I think it's just really important to kind of continue that cycle. It's very much about community for me.
I love that.
And about lifting that up. And I need the community just as badly. I'd like to think that I need them just like they need me.
Oh yeah.
So it's a two-way street. And I get a lot out of it. And I hope that the people we're able to help and kind of walk through those steps at a very early age are able to get a lot out of it too. And I suspect that a lot of them will, when they're kind of established themselves, will also be giving back.
I love that. Mad respect to you on that. That is kind of like my vibe too, as well. And that energy, it comes back. You know what I'm saying? It's karma in a way as well. I love that. So you're killing it again. Coroner, y'all. It debuts this Thursday on the CW. Check him, Shawn, out as Alphonse Ousmane. And then he's got a couple of other projects. We talked about the one with Tony, but there's a space one. I don't know how much we can say.
I think that's pretty much all. I've been told I can't say too much. So
what network?
Paramount.
Say the network?
Paramount.
Okay, I have a vibe what it is.
Yeah, you're gonna know.
If I was a gamer, would it fall along those lines?
No, not a gamer. You'll know. Yeah, I think actually my episode comes out in early June, so it's gonna come out in about a week and a half. My first episode on the show, so yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, okay. Yeah, I have a couple other suspicions then. All right, yeah, I'm with you. I'm tracking. Props to you on that. Was that a fun role without giving anything away?
Outrageous. It's iconic. It's you don't. It's like pinch me. Where am I right now?
I
It's
love
one of
it.
those roles. Yeah, it's one of those roles where you're like, oh, this is how they work at the highest level, huh? This is what they do when they have all the money in the world and all the best talent and all the best writers and all the best everything. Like this is how they make it, and you're just like, pinch me. How the hell did
Let's
I end
go.
up here?
Let's go. Is there also that, you know, kind of that same energy that happened with Corner, that this could be a recurring? Can we keep our fingers crossed?
The show is too big for me. No,
Oh,
the show is too big for me. Yeah, the show's
okay.
too. I mean, I
Well,
would
we're
love to
gonna
go.
put
I'd
that
love to
energy
go
into the
back. I'd
universe,
love to
though.
go back.
Okay.
I'm not dead. Let's put it that way. But,
All right.
Yeah, but
I just want to put that energy into the universe, because like when you meet good people and you as fellow actors, I just want my people to work. And I now consider you part of my NRW family from appearing here and giving me your time. So just gonna put all that love and light into the universe, give you that energy. How can the folks that want to follow along with your journey now that you've been on, and kind of give you that support, how can they reach out to you? And I'm also going to put it in the description below, y'all.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of social media. I got rid of all of it a little while ago, and I haven't looked back. I think I'll explain why. I think as an actor, I always felt like I had to be on social. I had to be on Instagram. Like I had to, because that's part of what your career entails. That's just part of it, and I think it is. But you know, I did one of those, like, you know, just like mental detoxes where I was like, I'm just gonna close all my social media for a minute and just kind of like take a break, because I'm getting swept into some rabbit holes that I don't like being in. And I booked some pretty great jobs. I think last year I booked a guest star on DC Legends of Tomorrow. You know, I got flown out west to go shoot it, and it's a really fun role. And I just thought, like, this is the type of role I thought I needed social media for, and I didn't have any social media. They just cast me on audition and cred, and I thought, if I don't have to, I'm not going to. I do miss the fact that I can't connect with as many people as I'd like to. But you know, if you're within Toronto, I try to stay very plugged into the community, and people that reach out to me via email or phone me or text me, I do try to help them all as much as I can. But if you want to follow along, you can check out my website, which is iamshawnahmed.com. And I am on Twitter, which is also I am Shawn Ahmed. But I don't really post. But you could DM me on that. Someone could DM me if they would, and I would see it, and I would probably respond in a couple of days.
All right, there we go. Because we want to show you love. We love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of and seeing what you're all about. I have mad respect for you, man. That's what we need to do when you see certain guys and girls and everybody just doing their thing, and in the way they're doing their thing, and giving back. And I love that. So you love to see it. You love to see it. So to close us out, man, as I said earlier, as you see, I'm a big nerd. What would actually, I have two questions now. I just thought about something. Actually, before I get to the nerd question, as a fellow actor, what is like the dream role, like universe, or, you know, would you want to be a Marvel superhero? Would you want to be a member of a Jedi or a Sith or something like that? What is the gig you're really looking for in Hollywood? Or story or anything like that you'd like to
I mean, listen, if Marvel, Star Wars, anyone comes knocking on my door, I'm opening that door right away. There's no questions asked. But I don't see myself as someone who is necessarily going to be like a big time star in this industry. I'm really happy being on this path of kind of being a journeyman actor. I kind of jokingly tell my friends, I'm like, you know, maybe when I'm like 50, I'll do this like job. I'll do like 4 episodes on some like Emmy winning show. And someone will be like, oh man, that guy was great in every scene. And then they'll look me up and they'll see like I have 100 credits. And they'll be like, oh, I've seen him in all these other things. He's just kind of been gigging. And I kind of, that's where I kind of see myself headed. I would say one of my favorite actors right now is Oscar Isaac. So, you know, like Ex Machina, I just like love movies like that, where they just are very simple and just like a really clear idea. They turn it and they go like, let's explore this idea now. So like stuff that he does, I would be very into. Dream though, like if Larry David is by any chance listening in, bro, bring me into Curb, because that is just like, he's just one of my all-time favorites, and I love that show so much. It is so very much my sensibility. So if I could somehow find my way to do like an episode or 2 or Curb, I would be very happy.
All right, we're gonna manifest that into the universe right now. Boom, let's go. I love it. And I appreciate that. Oscar Isaac, that's a good one. I'm very much in the same vein. I don't want to be a superstar. Although Oscar Isaac is kind of a superstar.
He is kind of a superstar, yeah. And I mean, you get a certain amount of agency.
Yeah, and his career choices and the roles he's played. I'm like, I got a lot of respect for him in that vein. So no, I'm with you on that. All right.
My optimum level of fame is just enough to play in like the NHL Celebrity All-Star game. Like if I can just get an invite to that game, like that would be, that's my optimum level. Like just get me to that level.
I love it. Let's put that into the universe as well, y'all. Shawn Ahmed, if you were to give a TED talk on anything super nerdy that the world doesn't really know about, outside of acting, we know you're an actor. We know you create films. What is something that people really don't know that, like, if you were to put to the test? Was it my buddy Lee Shorten, who's also another Canadian actor? Yeah. I think he said he could do like talk on law because he used to be a lawyer. He could give like a TED talk all about law. It could be anything. What could you give a TED talk on that the world doesn't really know about you? Could it be gardening? Could it be, it could be,
Oh, you know what? I could give a pretty good, so especially the last 5 or 6 years, I've gotten really good at making South Asian cuisine. So Pakistani, Indian food. I gotten real good at it. And I've learned like food is science, right? Like there's such a scientific element, and it's not just like putting everything. And I think people think curry and they go, everything goes in a pot, you put a lid on it, you let it sit for an hour. And it's like, no. There's reason to the madness. This, like when my mom gives me like her recipes over the phone, like she never gives me any measurements. Like she's just like, throw some onions in, but she gives me a very specific order how all these things happen. She goes, no, put the onions in. They have to sit for 2 minutes before you put the tomatoes on top. That creates a water base. Then you can put eggplant, zucchini, and potatoes on top. Leave the potatoes at the top. The steam will rise up and cook them. Like all those things. So I know a fair bit about like cooking Indian food, and I'm getting better at it. I'm I really love kind of exploring that world. So
that is awesome. I'm a foodie. I'm looking forward to eating my way through Toronto very soon.
Oh my God. Honestly, hit me up. I will send you some of like the best places to go. Yeah. Cause my fiance's massive foodie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is beautiful. I love that. Thank you for that knowledge.
Yeah.
Everybody, check out my man Shawn Ahmed as Alphonse Ousmani on Corner, debuting this Thursday on the CW season 4. And just let's give him all the love and light as he continues to build. And hopefully in June, once we find out that new project drops, maybe we can have him come back through to talk about it when it's now out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I love it. All right, we'll make that happen, y'all. Shawn Ahmed, your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. We're out of here. All right.
Hey everybody, this is Shawn Ahmed. I am on NRW with my boy Patrick. I'm talking everything Coroner, my time with Tony Braxton, and why I'm such a great Indian cook. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy.